Hello and welcome along and welcome back to Little Norton. Today we're going to be doing a load of yard work. We've got a lot of work to do with our animals. Both our cows and our sheep need some work. Plus, we have a very full trailer of bales here that need putting away. So we're going to start with that. It's going to be fun with this tractor on this trailer because this is not the ideal setup really for this. But for us to just move it across from one side of the yard to the other should work fine. So I'm going to bring this through here and hopefully round the back. And it's, yeah, this is a very, very full trailer of bales we've got here. Come on. There we go. And round. Perfect. I actually saw a tractor and telehandler working in the field the other day doing this, loading these up. They went one level lower than I am here, and at the same time they were also they only had one row of bales on that second row, which kind of makes me think, oh, maybe yeah, maybe we went a bit high on this. But we did get pretty much every single bale off that field. In fact, we did. We got every single bale off that field. So that is really, really nice that we managed to do that. Hopefully, we can get these unloaded fairly quickly and get things moving. I'm not going to use the big bale spike for this. We're going to use the smaller one. We should be able to take 2 bales off at a time with that, even so. Although whether we can reach the far side with this, I don't know. Ideally, I probably wanted to put this at the side. I might have to go and get another tractor and move this around a bit in a minute. But I think if we get this up here, we might be able to get these off. Whether we can reach the ones on the other side, that's the thing that I'm worried about. And we have got to unstrap whole sections of the trailer to do this. So, yeah, this is going to be a little bit scary, but we can do it. So let's have a look. We unclip these, we unclip these, and hopefully that is enough. That might not be enough to get that second bale off, but we'll see. And then, actually, we've got the height with this. We actually have the height. If I do this, yeah, no, that lowers it rather than raises it. But we are in the right place, so let's just go for it. In we go. But that is the first 2 off successfully. We've got a nice chunky weight on the back of this as well, so this should keep us nice and stable doing this job. And we're going to start on our second row here of bales. Make sure that we keep this nice and stable. This is quite a big shed. I'm not sure this shed really is something that does or would get used for bale stacking like this. We do have other sheds for this kind of thing, but yeah, this is working fine. The other interesting thing we've got is we're going to need some more. I know we've got Clover bales. What we don't have at the moment is silage. So we've got everything but, yeah, everything but Clover, everything but silage at the moment to feed our animals. And that's going to come in the next couple of game days. We've got, hopefully the corn is going to come right. How can we get into this and pick these out? Look at that. Straight off the top. And down and in. I'm going to take this trailer in sections. Hopefully that means that we'll stay stable enough to get it all off. Ooh. Especially if we're careful. Now, the one thing about how you're doing this with a tractor like this is we don't get the stability. We don't get the maneuverability, sorry, that we get with other stuff. but it is still working pretty nicely. And I am just taking this end of the trailer off. Just get all the bales from this end, and then we'll get the bales above the bit that's got the wheels on it, and then we should be able. And that way we'll prevent ourselves from having to unstrap things too early and too quick, and causing ourselves problems. There we go. Like that. And yeah, avoid having things falling off. We are actually double weighted at the back of this. We've got wheel weights and we've got weights for the that big weight on the back. So there's no chance that this is going to tip forwards on this. Right, before I go any further on there, I want to get another row at the bottom. So we'll do that. And we are going to have to try and get a couple of singles off, I think. But this is going to bring this several rows forward, this stack. So I'll get the rest of these, or I'll get the load more of these off, and then we'll come back and see how we're doing. So we're down to taking off the bottom row now. We've got one left on the row above, but yeah, we're over halfway through getting these unloaded. We're also going to have to do, I want to do today some grass silage. While we're height of summer, we could really do hay, but I've got a good drying day next. I'm sort of torn. We could do a lot of hay today and get that cut and get that drying. So I might get onto that actually. It's one of those things where all of our grass fields are ready. We kind of need to do it today. If we're going to get a cut in autumn, in late autumn, then we really want to get that get a cut done today as a result. But, and the big but here is that might then result in our late autumn cut not allowing the grass to regrow in time for spring. So it's all a bit all over the place. Having said that, I really want to put some field grass in. I think we're going to look at possibly getting field 38 ploughed in and put some field grass in there and get the combine on there. Alternatively, I might replant field 38 with clover, and our two fields down the bottom, field 40 and 41, that we currently have as clover fields. Make them into field grass, because we'll get the combine into those much easier to cut that. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you think, whether we should A, do some field grass and try something a little bit different, and B, if we do, should we do field 38 or 40 and 41 with it? I'm very interested. Or actually, another possibility and another really big field, especially if we're only going to get one harvest a year off the field grass. Maybe the field up by the sheep would be a really good field to do field grass on. So yeah, I'm very interested in what you guys think to that. But yeah, field 22 is a little bit bigger. Maybe that would be a better solution to this, and go with that. I, though, need to get this single bale off the top here, and we're just going to put that on top of the two bales that we've just stacked. Because a single bale on its own can be quite useful in that middle row. Whoa, that is what I've been fearing. Those bales at the back just rolling off like that is hugely annoying, but that's okay. As I said, a single bale is always useful. Let's see if we can get this one into here. But we can't put the we can't put the rear lock on because A, we wouldn't have been able to get this off, and if we put the rear ladder there, we wouldn't have got as many bales on our trailer as we did. So, slowly. No. Those are now slightly out of place. This is when I make the whole pile go kablooey. No, that might have actually worked. That did. That actually worked. Stacking can be really, really nerve-wracking sometimes. Not many bales to go though. And yeah, so we've got a few choices to make. I think I'd also like to try and do some carrots second year on here. So I've got to put them into our crop rotation. I'd also like to try and get one of the other crops, but I'm not sure which crops. I'd like to replace the wheat with a crop, but I need one that does straw. I mean, we have a lot of straw here, but I would really like a crop that we can produce straw from one of the extra crops. So I'm not quite sure which crops do that on here. And if we could get a really good priced one, then that would be even better. We need to get 2 bales on the top of that, or we're going to be unable to reach it. Because that's, in fact, that's already a little bit dodgy. Right. That front bale on this is not that secure. We really need to be careful as we're pulling this off. There we go. Bales in. Not the neatest bit at the front, but I'm happy with that. So that has got our bales sorted. Next, we're going to do our animals. Wow, Barley has a really, really weird setup on this. Let's have a look here. So, cows need water, cleaning, and everything. So we'll grab a bale of hay while we're here. As I said, we don't have any silage at the moment. I'm going to take this bale off the top. Grab this, and we can go and give this to our cows. I think actually we do want to go and create more hay bales. So we'll go and do a cut in a bit, and get that drying. I think everything actually is pretty dry, and we've got a good drying day next day. So we'll do a nice spread cut, and that should dry itself out pretty well. You're going to have to get the bucket on the front of this and do that. So all in all, it's going to be a pretty busy day. Grass work and bits like that. Silage, we do have a little bit here because we've got a little bit in their feed. Let's see, how did that affect them? Good, that's a nice amount of hay. We can give them some more the next day. And we need to go and see if our clover silage is ready now. So let's head over that way and try that. So that, of course, is sitting in this field over here. Which we're going to be, I think I'm going to gradually be using this field more and more as a yard. It kind of lends itself to that more and more. Although it is going to be our only grass field left if we do... oh, no, it won't. No, we will. We do have other grass fields, so that's all right. Clover silage. How close are these to being ready? Let's have a look. It is just clover silage. Good. So we'll take stop one off this. And go and feed this to our cows. Yeah, especially the amount of driving around we're going to do in this field. It's going to make much more sense to extend the yard into it. We've got various options then that we can do with it. We can, of course, now bring the straw harvest DLC in if we want. And we have big enough tractors and things for it. Of course, at the moment, the way we're doing our bales, we can't create pellets from it. But that can always be changed. So how does that do things? So that's a good amount of clover silage. And now we don't have any maize silage or anything like that here. So we'll just get the bucket and clean the cows out. And that will work for that as well. So up, round, we'll drop this off here. I'm not, well, I suppose, no, I'm not really sure exactly what use that large bale spike is anymore. On the field, we were picking up 2 bale spikes with it, as we 2 bales at a time with it. As we just demonstrated with our smaller bale spike, we can do that. You know, that is not an issue with that. So it might be wise to sell that. It was useful to us when we had vertical stacks around bales, and we could pick up like 8 at a time. As it stands, we're not doing that anymore. We don't have a bale stacker that does it that way. So yeah, not really something that we probably need to have hanging around the yard anymore. There we go. Wow, there's actually a fair amount in our bucket. They were really lucky. How has that affected things? Let's give them a little bit of it. And while I'm down here, I'll just hop to here and turn the water on. I do like that. That is a very, very nice add-on. That the water, the animal pen extension makes things really good for when you're doing animals. When you're doing lots of animals, it makes a lot of sense, because it just creates, it just means that you're not forever driving back and forth with a water tank. But that should sort our cows out. Yeah, so they're now cleaned. Their water is filling. We've given them a load of food. I think next we're going to head up to the sheep pasture and sort them out. Up at the sheep and into our little 309 vent, and we'll head out and round and go and clean them first, because they need that doing first. Now they produce grass, which we can't really clean up during, or we can't feed back to them at this time of year. Because they have, as you can see, a ton of it in their field. So yeah, they have a ton of it down here as well. Wow. What would be really good would be a little silo, really. Did that go in? I don't think. Did that actually go in? Don't think it did. It'd be good if it had. We're certainly picking it up. So I'm gonna give it a try. No, it just creates a pile. Right, so we'll create a pile just outside their feeding trough. Like so. But that will get them clean. Sheep are pretty happy at this time of year. Mostly just running with the fact that they've got grass in their field. We do want to give them a little bit extra. We want to give them some carrots if we've got some, and we want to give them some. I think they still like to have a bit of silage at this time of year as well. So let's have a look at that. So yeah, sheep. We could do a little bit of water, grass silage, clover silage, and hay, alfalfa, and sugar beet or carrots. So we have got the clover silage up here now. We are out of sugar beet and carrots, so we're going to wait till that comes. So we'll drop this bit off. And we'll hook up the other. And we'll take a bale of hay from here over to them. There we go. Grab that. Now can we get one of those ones from the back? We have quite a decent amount of hay kicking around the farm. I'm not too worried about getting a cut of hay today. I don't know if we will or not. It should just be a case of running the mower around the field. As sort of the last thing to do. Especially after what we'll do today is we will just put a bale of hay and a bale of clover silage round with our sheep. They could possibly do with, I think doing grass silage later in the year and giving the grass silage to one animal and all the maize silage to the other will make sense, especially as we can get grass silage up here. How's that? Yeah, that's taken about half of that, so we'll leave this here as well. That will do them for a little while. I think that's going to be the trick over the winter. When we want to skip a few days, we'll load up the sheep and the cows with bales in their pens, and then we can just go skip through a few days, get through winter fairly quickly. We won't have many jobs to do over the winter. We'll have some selling and things to do like that, but that should keep the animals going through the winter, and then we can come back in the spring and be in a good position from that, I think. And I think having some silage bales actually is going to be really, really necessary for that. So yeah, we will be doing some grass silage at some point in the autumn, just to make things easier for us overall. We might get some more clover silage done in that time as well. But we'll have to see. Don't know how quickly the clover regrows, but we've certainly got enough to get us through to the spring. So drop this here. We'll then just pop back, grab some water for our sheep, and that should be them done for today. But yeah, the beauty is that we can just leave a bale here like this, and that will feed them for a couple of days. How much is that left? So 500. Wow. So our sheep are pretty good, other than the sugar beets and carrots. And yeah, we'll take this back. We'll get their water started, and then I think last thing we're going to do today is yeah, we're going to go and cut some grass. So that we're going to have some hay in a couple of days when it's done drying out. So I've hooked up our big Fendt 930 to the mowers here, and we'll get started in this field, get this cut. So let's open it up. I want to cut my way into the field really. So turn it on, drop it down. That should be spreading a bit. Yeah, there we go. And then switch to the back ones, open those out, and we'll close the gate while we're doing this. The trouble is we need to cut our way into the field, because at the moment we have the whole thing. Let's change work mode. I want to lift them all up because we want to get the spread here. Yeah, we destroy grass when we drive over it at the moment, so I want to avoid doing that. Turn it on, blur it down, and let's get going around the field. So yeah, very important that we get this done as well as we can, sticking where we are driving. Now the middle one, the front one, does seem to be doing some rowing, but it's not a very high row. The side ones are doing a spread, so those will dry. Seems very wet, this, so we might still have to run the I still have to run the tether over this to get this to dry quicker. Because yeah, at the moment that very much is still doing. So that's what I was talking about. In the corners, we want to be getting all of it. Otherwise, we run over it and we damage the grass that we're trying to cut. Right. So then I'm going to go across the field here. Actually, I think we should do another headland looking at this. So let's bring ourselves in and do another headland. We could just keep going in circles. But there's not enough space for me to turn around on this. Otherwise, so let's go there. It should be a fairly quick job to get this field done. And once this field's done, we can get the next one done. But yeah, I'm slightly surprised this is as dark as it is. I was expecting a much less dark result on this, because it's pretty dry at the moment. But maybe that is just the way it all works. And around to the next one. Away we go. Yeah, not a big field this, as I've said. It's eventually going to make a good yard, I think. But at the moment for us, we want to do it this way. There we go. Right, now we should have enough space to turn around and get this done. Yeah. Like that, and away. Ooh, we were a little bit far out on that side, so I'm going to have to come back, I think, and catch that little bit of grass that I missed. Can do though. Just go down like that and cut this like so. Yeah, not quite quick enough on my drop. But yeah, we've got a really good drying day next game day, so this is gonna dry fairly quickly, even if we don't ted it. If we ted it, then it's going to go that little bit quicker. So we'll see how the drying process goes. If it manages to dry itself between now and then, that's even better. But for now, I'm happy with that field. That's pretty well done. Let's switch to the front one and just lower that down. We have a couple of tufts just to go round and finish off, and then we can head over and get field 38 done. So off, fold and lift, off, fold. So that's already lifted. So let's get over to field 38. And get that cut as well. Ah, summer cutting, haymaking in the sunshine, absolutely perfect. And then yeah, we just got one more really big field to get done after this. Yeah, I'll just throw a little bit of grass getting in here. Not much choice because it's a very quick swing. Unfold, unfold, on and down, on down. There we go. Before we go any further, close the gate. And let's get this field cut. We've got most of the field cut now, and we've just got a couple of little triangles to finish off. Gone pretty well. Nice amount of grass we have kicking around this field. Always a good field this, but that's why I'm asking whether it should be a field grass field. I think one of our two big ones really should, or one of our three big ones, thinking about it, really should be. We're not. Field grass would be a good one to experiment with, I think. Definitely something that we would have fun having a play around with on here. Just whip round and get this last bit before we head up to the other field. Plenty of time today to get that last field done as well. So fold those up, switch over, lift off, fold, and we can get this then up to our top field. And get that cut today as well. But yeah, pretty happy with how efficient these mowers are on this tractor. Really, really good. But my hope is that we'll be able to get this all dried to hay in the next few days. If we have a look at the seasons menu here and have a look at the weather, you can see that today we've got good drying right up until well into the evening, and then we've got good drying all day the next day and a good day the next day. It's going to be pretty good for us to get this done. I do like the cars on this map. They stop in plenty of time. Good brakes on them. Yeah, they do beep at you though. Right, let's get this up to our top field, and then we can get that cut as well, and have lots of hay waiting for us in a couple of days. Into our last field now, and we've got a great demand at the supermarkets at the moment. What is that for? Let's have a look. Always worth checking a great demand, because sometimes in seasons you end up with a higher price than even the best price. It is for eggs, and we do not have chickens, so it doesn't matter to us. So let's take this into this field here. And then that. We will unfold the front, turn it on, drop it down, cut in a little bit so we've got enough space. Then unfold the back. Basically repeat the... Ooh, wow. Before I go any further, we are low on fuel. We probably have enough to get this job done, but I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to nick a bit of the fuel. We don't have a huge amount of fuel up here, but we do have a little bit, so I'm just going to fill this up with some from here. My hope is after harvest we'll be able to get enough in the tanker to do both. Yeah, only 500 litres. Take it up to half a tank. Right, there we go. Yeah, so that's taken about half the fuel out of here. I didn't want to empty this fuel tank completely. We can refill this when we get back to the main farm. There's more fuel down there. Open that up, get ourselves back to where we were. And again, while those are unfolding, close this. Take a while, those do. On, down, and away we go again. Get this field cut, and that will be a good day. We're coming to the end of the field now. We're into the smaller part. Sort of coming around and grabbing it as we do. And yeah, we're going to have an awful lot of hay off here, which is really good. Hay is something that we need and will be able to get, won't be able to get later in the year. So doing this now makes a lot of sense. We do need silage in general, but we're about to do both maize silage and, as I said, by the end of autumn, cutting this now, we should be able to get some maize. We should also get some grass silage as well. The grass should have regrown enough in order for us to do that. I'm going to get that bit I missed at the start of that last row there. There we go. Up. Down we go again. Here. And yeah, all in all, this has been fairly successful. It is 7:45 in the evening in game, but that's not a problem. It is summer, we can cut for longer, and as I said, the next day is going to be an absolutely cracking drying day. It might help things along a little bit. We'll see how busy we are. We'll see how many crops and things we have to cut. We do have 2 good days, so getting something doing some tedding on these fields that we've done is probably a really good idea, just to hurry this along, because we are going to have to row and bale this, of course, as well. So this is very much just our first stage on this job, but it is a job that has gone well, and that we can get out of the way and done, and yeah, hardest part of it. Like that. And we might also run an experiment with something that we've been told a few times in the comments, and just we might ted a strip of the dried stuff, or ted one of the fields of dried stuff, and leave the other 2, because apparently it resets it. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But that is that. Lift this up, fold it, and then switch over, fold it and lift it, and that should be pretty good. So that is where I am going to end today's video. All that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from Virtual Farmer, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.